Good morning. Am I audible?
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir.
Okay. Okay. So last class we have discussed the various steps of solving this root locus problem. Now we'll take up the numerical problem for this root locus. Now the first example is the forward path transfer function of a unity feedback system is given by gs equal to k by s into s plus 4 into s plus 5. Sketch the root locus as k varies from 0 to infinity. So a transfer function is given, that is a forward path transfer function, and feedback is unity. So you are supposed to draw the root locus and you have to sketch it, okay, in the graph paper. So how to draw this root locus? So first step is we have to calculate how many poles are there and how many zeros are there in this transfer function. So if you see this transfer function, at s equal to 0, there is a pole. Okay, s plus 4 equal to 0. That means s equal to minus 4, there is a pole. And s equal to minus 5, there is a pole. So there are 3 poles and there is no zeros. Okay. So poles are s equal to 0, s equal to minus 4 and s equal to minus 5. So total number of poles, it is equal to 3, and total number of zeros, it is z equal to 0. Now, next step, we have to see that root locus will lie where. Okay, so let us draw it. So you have a pole at s equal to 0. So there is a pole at s equal to 0. Then there is a pole at s equal to minus 4. And there is a pole at s equal to minus 5. Now first you tell me, we have to calculate where the root locus will lie. So if you take any point between s equal to 0 to s equal to minus 4, any point here. So whether the root locus will lie in this portion, yes or no? During this section from s equal to 0 to s equal to minus 4, whether the root locus will exist or it will not exist. What is your answer? What will be your answer? How to calculate? We take any point, and if number of poles plus number of zeros, right, to this particular point, if it is odd, then the root locus will exist. Okay. So if you take any point here, so in this, if you take this point, so how many poles and zeros are lying right of this particular point?
One pole. One.
So whether it is odd or even?
Odd.
So whether the root locus will lie on this particular section?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so root locus will lie in this section. Okay, so what will happen? Normally the root locus will originate from poles. Okay, so both the root locus will move in this direction. Okay, now let us consider any point here between s equal to minus 4 to s equal to minus 5. So between this, if you take any point, whether the root locus will exist?
No, sir.
Okay, because if you take any point here, so right of this particular point, there are two number of poles are existing. So If there are two number of poles are existing, that means that is even number, so no root locus will lie. Now similarly, if you take point here, so whether the root locus will lie right up?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, because number of poles plus number of zeros right to this particular point is 3, which is odd number. So root locus will exist. So what will happen? The root locus will originate from this direction. Okay. Now why it is not this direction? Because no root locus will lie in this section. That's why the root locus direction will be this way. Okay. Is it clear? Any doubt? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So the root locus exists between s equal to 0 and s equal to -4 and to the left of -5. So that's what we have drawn just now. Okay, we have drawn this particular root locus. Next, step 3, number of root locus. So how many root locus will be existing? Okay, so we have p equal to 3, z equal to 0. So number of root locus will be equal to n will be equal to 3, because that we know. Okay, how to calculate this. Okay, number of root locus will be n equal to p. So that's why here number of root loci will be 3. So if you see that, so there are 3 number of root locus are existing. Okay, how it is 3? How it is 3? So this is one root locus, this is a second root locus, and this is third one. They are moving. So this yet they have not actually terminated. Now next is we have to calculate the centroid of asymptotes. So centroid of asymptotes equal to sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by p minus j. So you calculate from here what should be the value of the centroid. Sum of poles minus sum of zeros by number of poles minus number of zeros. Okay, so you calculate and you tell me what is the value of centroid. You calculate what is the value of centroid. Sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. What is the value? What is the value?
Sir, 1.
1. Oh, it is 1. This 0 minus 4.
-3, sir.
This is the all poles minus 0. Sum of zeros, there is no 0. Number of pole is 3. 3 minus 0. That is minus 3. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. -3, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, angle of asymptotes. So angle of asymptotes phi equal to 2k plus 1 into 180 degree divided by p minus z. So you calculate what will be the value of this asymptotic angle. What should be the angle? What is the value of phi? 2k plus minus 1 into pi divided by p minus z. You substitute k equal to 0. K equal to 0, if it is there, then what will be the value?
60 degree.
60 degree. If k equal to 1,
180 degree. 180 degree.
K equal to 2,
300.
so angles are, what are the asymptotic angle? It is 60 degree. Then
180 degree.
60 degree, 180 degree, and 300.
300.
Okay, fine. -60 degree, 180 degree, and 300 degree. Correct. Next, calculation of breakaway point. So breakaway point, how to calculate? So you need to first form the characteristic equation. 1 plus GSHS equal to 0. So you will substitute. HS is 1, GS is given. Okay. So from that you will calculate the value of K. Then you differentiate this K with respect to S. So you will get a equation. Okay. So this dk by ds will be equal to 0. So from that you have to calculate the value of breakaway point. Okay. So now you calculate. This is the transfer function. Your value of GS, it is equal to K by S into S plus 4 into S plus 5. Okay. And HS equal to 1. So your characteristic equation will be 1 plus GSHS will be equal to 0. So you substitute here. Then you will get something. Okay. So you have to calculate then K. Okay. Then you have to do dk by ds equal to 0. And from that, you have to calculate the value of S. Please tell me what is the value of S? What is the value of S? What is the value? What is the value? Are you getting? What is the value of K? What is the value of K?
Sir, S1 equal to minus 4.52 or S2 equal to minus 1.47.
Okay. Okay. S1 equal to minus 1.47.
47.
Okay.
Sir.
And S2?
Minus 4.52.
Okay, you have got it, no?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now we need to check whether these are the basically possible breakaway point. Okay, possible breakaway point. Now we have to check whether this will be the breakaway point actually or not. Okay, so that we need to check. How we can cross check it? Let us see. So you see, what are the breakaway points? You have got it. Just tell me.
Minus 1.47.
1.47 and S2 equal to
Minus 4.52.
minus 4.52. So after this, what you will see, you will check whether, because these two are the possible breakaway points, but actually both of these will not be the breakaway point. Okay. So what has to be done? You see, you take any point here. So this point will lie minus 1.47 maybe here. For example, this point will be here. And minus 4.52. So you see minus 4.52 may be here, but as the root locus is not present here, so there is no possibility of the breakaway point. So breakaway point means what? The two root locus will actually start towards each other and they will meet at a particular point and then they will break away. So this solution cannot be the breakaway point. Only this solution will be the breakaway point. So what will happen, you see, both these root locus will come here and they will meet at this point. They will meet at this point. This is this point is S equal to minus 1.47. Is it clear? Why minus 1.47 is the breakaway point? Why this minus 4.52 cannot be taken as the breakaway point? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt from anyone? Okay. Okay. So that's why since minus 4 and to minus 5 is not the segment of the root locus, therefore we consider minus 1.4725 as a breakaway point. So this will be the only breakaway. Now next step is the step 7. This is the determination of the point of intersection of the branches of the root locus with imaginary axis by the Routh-Hurwitz. So what has to be done? We'll apply the Routh-Hurwitz criteria. We know the characteristic equation, and from that we'll calculate what should be the value of k. Okay, so let us calculate. Okay, let us calculate. This is the actually transfer function. You calculate what should be the value of k for the system to be stable. Okay, you calculate quickly using Routh-Hurwitz criteria. You have already solved. Apply Routh-Hurwitz criteria. What should be the value of k? If you applied Routh-Hurwitz,
Say in between 0 to 180.
In between 0 to 180. Okay, correct. So that means k should be equal to 180 degree. Correct. Now you form the auxiliary equation. Auxiliary equation, how you can form? Just above this one. So s square, that is 9s square plus 180 degree equal to 0. So you calculate what should be the value of s. Calculate the value of s. You substitute k equal to 180 degree. 180, not 180 degree, it's 180. What is the value of s? S equal to how much? Nine s square plus 180 equal to 0. What is the value of s? What is the value of s? What is the value? Is it very difficult? 9s square plus 180 equal to 0. What is the value of s? Think we need to solve it. I don't know. Nine s square plus 180 equal to 0. What is the value of s? S will be equal to plus minus j 20. What is this value? J20 root 20. Root 5. Yes or no? Huh?
Yes, sir.
You are not able to solve it. Very simple thing. Okay, so if you calculate 2 root 5, you will get this value, 4.47. Okay. So now you have to draw the root locus. So how we'll draw this root locus? Okay. So let us say, I will first describe it, then we'll understand this thing. So we have seen that the centroid value is how much? What was the centroid value? What was the value of centroid?
-3.
-3. Okay. So if centroid value is -3, let us say this point is here, maybe. So that is your s equal to -3. This is S equal to -3. Now you have calculated angle of asymptote is 60 degree, 180 degree, and 300 degree. Okay. So 60 degree means from the centroid, we have to draw a 60 degree line. So let us say this is a 60 degree line, for example. And this is also, so there is a 60 degree line, 180. 180 means this way. So this x-axis itself, it is a angle of asymptote. Okay, means the asymptotic path. Then we have a 300 degree. So 300 degree means this will be -60. So another line which is -60. So we can see from here, this angle is your 60 degree, and this angle is your also, this is -60 actually, but it is 60 degree. So these two are your asymptotic angle. Okay, we have taken. Now these two root locus, one root locus will start from here. I have told you at the beginning, and it will meet at 1 point -1.47 because this is your breakaway point. So here they will actually meet, and then they will follow the asymptotic path. They will basically follow the asymptotic path. So this will be the direction of the root locus, and another root locus will move in this direction. Okay, so this is the complete plot of the root locus. Okay, this is your sigma and this is your geometry. So same thing, actually it is plotted in the graph plate. Any doubt on this? Any confusion on this root locus plot? Anyone? Any doubt? So I'll show you this one. Here also you see this is one root locus. It is starting from here. This is another root locus. They are meeting at -1.47. These are the two asymptotic angle. Okay, and they are moving in this direction. So how this root locus will move? This will be parallel to this particular asymptotic path. This will be parallel to this asymptotic path. And here you see another root locus is moving in this direction. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Next problem, for a unity feedback system, the open loop transfer function is given by Gs equal to K by S into S plus 2 into S square plus 6S plus 25. Scales the root locus for 0 less than equal to K less than equal to infinity. That means always we are supposed to draw the root locus. We have to vary the value of K from 0 to infinity. At what value of K the system becomes unstable? We need to calculate what should be the value of K for which the system becomes unstable. Next, at this point of instability, determine the frequency of oscillation of the system. We need to calculate what will be the value of this frequency at the point of instability. So again, we first step, we have to calculate what are the how many poles and zeros are there. So again, the same process. At S equal to 0, there is a 1 pole, S equal to -2. And if you solve this S square plus 6S plus 25, this is -3 plus J4 and -3 minus J4. So these are the actually 4 poles are there in this particular transfer function. There is no zeros. So only 4 poles are there. Now, first of all, we have to plot all these poles in the S plane. So that is the first task. Okay. So you have to remember at S equal to 0, S equal to -2, -3 plus J4 and -3 minus J4. These are the actually your poles. So we'll draw this. We'll draw this, let us say. So you tell me S equal to 0, there is a pole. Okay. Then you have pole at S equal to -2. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then we have a pole at -3 plus J4. Okay. So for example, this is -3 and J4 is, for example, here. So this is S equal to -3 plus J4. And then another complex conjugate pole, it is there at S equal to -3 minus J4. These are the actually location of the poles and zeros in the S plane. This is sigma, this is J. Okay. Is it clear now? This is the pole zero plot of this given transfer function.
Clear है sir.
Okay. Now we have to see whether the root locus will lie which section in the real axis. So if you take any point here, now you tell me whether the root locus will lie or not between S equal to 0 and S equal to -2. Tell me whether root locus will lie here, this section.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, -2 to 0.
Yes. So that means one root locus will terminate from here and another root locus, it will terminate from here. So both will move in this opposite direction. And they will obviously meet at a particular point. And that will be basically your breakaway point. We will calculate those things. So the segment on the real axis between S equal to 0 and S equal to -2 is the part of the root locus. So that we have seen. Yes. I will come to this later on. Now, number of root loci, how many root loci will be there? There are 4 poles and number of zeros is 0. Okay, so number of root loci will be n equal to p. So that means n equal to p equal to 4. So number of root loci will be equal to 4. Now you calculate the centroid. Centroid, you calculate the sum of poles minus sum of zeros divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. From that you calculate the value of the centroid. Quickly you calculate and tell me what is the value of centroid? What is the value of centroid?
-2.
-2. Okay, it's -2. Correct. So that means if we go back to our plot, so that means S equal to -2. This point itself, it is the basically your point of, it is the centroid. Now you calculate angle of asymptotes. You apply that formula that phi equal to 2k plus minus 1 into pi divided by p minus z. You calculate what is the
P
value?
minus Z.
Huh? Yes, you tell me what is the value of phi? What should be the value of phi? For this case, root locus is very simple. If you follow
Yes, sir. 45 degrees.
45 degree. Now k equal to 1,
Yes, sir. 135 degree.
135 degree. K equal to
225 degree.
225 degree.
And 315 degree.
315 degree. That's all. Don't need more. Okay, fine. So now we need to draw this line. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll draw the lines. That means the asymptotic line. So from S equal to -2. So obviously there will be, let us say this is your 45 degree. Then you have a line of 135 degree. Okay. Then 135 we cannot take. Okay, because this will not be that case, but 315, this will be the case. So 315 and this is basically -45. Okay, so these two are basically your asymptotic. This will be your 45 degree and this is also another 45. Okay, now let us come to that. Yes, asymptote is -2. Then these are your asymptotic angles: 45 degree, 135 degree, 225 degree, 350. Correct. Now you need to calculate the breakaway point. So quickly you calculate the breakaway point. You calculate the breakaway point. Breakaway point is how much? but this is little bit trial and error method. Let us say this value is minus 0.8981. The same process you will follow. 1 plus GSHS equal to 0, and then you will you will calculate the value of K, and from there you will calculate the dk by ds equal to. So dk by ds equal to 0. So from there you need to calculate the value of S. Now you need to apply the Raoult-Harwich and calculate the value of K for which the system will be stable. Just you calculate what will be the value of your K. What will be the value of K you calculate using the Raoult-Harwich criteria? You calculate what is the value of K using the Raoult-Harwich criteria? How much you are getting? K, for which the system will be stable? What is the value of K? Okay. So are you getting K equal to 192.18? Are you getting this value?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the value of K for which the system will be stable. So what we'll do, we'll substitute this K equal to this one and we'll form the auxiliary equation 30.75 S square plus similar to earlier case. Okay, plus K 192.18. We'll substitute and we'll calculate the value of S. Okay, so this is the your basically the roots of the particularly equation. Okay, so we'll continue this thing in the next class because there is an angle of departure and all those things are there. We'll continue this thing from the from this particular point. So now let me. Any doubt till this point? Any doubt from anyone? Okay, so I will stop sharing this thing and let me take your attendance. So your syllabus for the first internal test, it will be Routh-Hurwitz criteria and root locus technique. Okay, these are the two chapters that will come from my portion. Your upcoming first internal. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So Routh-Hurwitz and your root locus technique. These are the two chapters. Okay. Thank you. I will close this meeting. We'll continue in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.